Hi, Kasia here. Welcome again. Today I will be talking about the ugly truth of letting go. Dun dun dun. In the self-development area, letting go is being presented as the magic bullet that cures all your life problems. And all the gurus, all the teachers will tell you like this is the best thing you can do to change your life, how you can become ever happy, forever happy by letting go. And I will start this video by saying you cannot not be letting go all the time. We are basically forced to let go of things because of the natural changes and cycles that are happening. So whether we want or not, we are letting go of things. And let's be honest, these days, at these times, we have a lot to let go of. So the pain of these changes that I will be getting into very shortly is happening already all around us. There is so much going on that requires our adjustments, requires us to let go of the ways we are used to seeing things, the structures that are around us, the permanent, seemingly permanent ideas, ways of being, ways of existing, perhaps in a market, perhaps in relationships, perhaps in economy. So all these things are slowly changing, and we have to be changing with it all the time. This is what letting go is as well. Now, I want to emphasize that I am a big proponent of letting go. I am a big proponent of changing things intentionally rather than waiting for the necessary change to happen. Because unless we change things up in our life, we are always risking experiencing the pain of stagnation that grows over time when the evolution of our life is always driving towards change and growth. So when we resist changes, when we resist letting go of things, we are adding levels of stagnation that are bound to erupt at some point. And before I get into the meat of this video, which is the ugly truth of letting go, dun dun dun, I want to really emphasize that letting go has led to really great breakthroughs in my life. But, and here is where I'm getting to the meat of the video. I want to kind of dress it up in a story that happened to me that will show you what is the ugly truth, and I will explain you how you can use that analogy, how you can use the essence and the meaning that I will describe throughout this story to allow yourself to see letting go of something else, and that will make it easier perhaps for you to let go of things and make necessary changes that you've been resisting so much. So what happened to me about a year and a half ago, actually it started about 3 years ago, but there was a number of changes in my life. I was forced to let go of things in my life, and there was one thing after another that I had to let go of, and they were really, really big things that I had to let go of, such as romantic relationship that I had to let go of. And I say I had to let go of because I was put in a place of choice. I could have stayed, I could have let go, but to me the decision was I had to let go. And this led into a snowball. It was actually tangled into a snowball of events that my spirit presented to me as opportunities to put myself in a place of choice. Should I stay or should I go? Basically, the song comes to mind all the time. And I had to do a lot of go, go, go from different situations where, you know, I had to let go of friendships, long-term best friendships. I had to let go of home. I had to let go of business. I let go of money. I let go of so many things that at the end of this letting go, which is like there's never really an end to it, but this cycle, there was really nothing from my previous life, from like a few months before. I had literally not had anything in my life. I literally had nothing from the previous lifetime except of my brain, except of my body, and, you know, these things that I can transport with me. But all the structures, all the people, all the, you know, things that I had built in my life, I let them go. And because these choices, these changes were so huge, it was like basically all the relationships in my life dropped off, all of them, literally. I didn't have a home, I didn't have a business, I lost a bunch of money. And basically that put me in post-traumatic stress disorder. Basically, there was too much change and adjustment that my nervous system had to deal with, that it was too much too soon. So I really wanted to tell that story in so much detail that you could see how much adjustment we have to make to let go of things, to make big changes in our life. And even smaller changes in our life require a lot of adjustment, and I will get into that in full detail very soon. But I really want to be honest about what kind of impact that was on me. And that was as if a bunch of people from my life, the dearest people in my life, had just died, because they just stopped being part of my life all of a sudden. And this is basically such a big adjustment someone might have to make. And this is very extreme, but you know, even if you have smaller letting goes to do, this video will be useful by showing you in the contrast of what that means to you. So the pain that I was experiencing from the stretching of my nervous system to adjust to this new reality was huge. The pain I was experiencing was the biggest pain I had experienced in the whole of my life. It was just insane. And what I'm getting at, basically I'm describing the ugly truth of letting go right now. And you know, this is really common that people really wait until the last moment with taking another change, with making another decision of letting go. And they wait until something forces them to choose, where usually at this time things get so bad and there is so much more involved and entangled that letting go becomes really, really hard and painful, as I described. So to avoid this, it's better that we take more intentional choices on when do we let go of things, when do we make another decision about our life. And there is thousands of small decisions and choices we have opportunity to look at each single day. And people wait until the last moment because they're afraid they will make a mistake. Like, if I do this, I probably will make a mistake. So they wait until things get so broken that, you know, they're forced to change. And the fear of making mistake is something that can be repaired. That's why I made this guide that takes people through choices that are aligned, that will always be making the good choices. You can eliminate the anxiety and fear of making the wrong choice by following this free guide. You can download it from the description of this episode and start using it today, so that you start repairing your life by making these small choices every day, letting go of small things so that they don't bulk up so much that they're beyond repair. Now, I was lucky because in my situation, I had the guidance that I'm talking about built in me. I'd created the guide ages ago, so I live by it. That's why I was able to heal. I had kept, and that was pretty much the only thing I was able to keep from my previous life, my mind, my knowledge of mind-body connection, and the spirit that feeds us with all the necessary information. And even though I had a diagnosed PTSD that triggered a complex trauma, I was able to heal it. And it's amazing because I had healed in the past a chronic disease, an incurable disease about 10 years ago. Now I had healed PTSD that was medically diagnosed, whatever, by using the mind-body connection and my connection to my core self. Okay, I'm not trying to be a hero here, but I'm getting to the meat of the video, which is, even though you are doing the letting go, even though you are the person who is breaking up, even that you might be the person who is choosing to move on from a situation, from a person, from whatever, just let go of something that doesn't suit you anymore. You are not immune from the pain and grief of letting go, of losing these things. I really want to emphasize this. Even though you are doing the letting go, even though it's your choice, you are not immune from experiencing pain of a loss. This is the ugly truth I was talking about. You might still experience insane amount of pain, even if you are choosing yourself. Even if you feel like you have to chop off your hands to move on, you will have to grieve and feel that pain, even though you know you've outgrown something. Why is this happening? This is happening because when you are letting go of that thing, that person, that situation, that habit, you are not only losing them, you are not only moving on, letting go of this thing, this person. Mostly the pain comes from you having to let go of yourself that was attached to all these things. You have to let go of all the dreams, hopes, potentials, of all the history that you had linked with that person or the situation or a job. You know, you might have imagined scenarios how this would play out. Maybe you had a desire how things would evolve when you were in that relationship. Maybe you had high hopes about that job and promotion, but you're choosing to let go of it. Right? So there is a lot of pain and grief that comes with letting go. And this is what makes people get stuck in situations that are no longer serving them. because there is so much entanglement in habits, in roles, by going through the motions of life. When you have this thing or a person or situation in your life, and it's just like you just do these things because you have become that, you have identified with that, you have wired this into your system. And this is why it's so hard, why it hurts so much to let go of things. No one ever talks about that. You have to let go of yourself whenever you let go of that person. You have to let go of your past self who was in that job. You have to let go of yourself when you decide to finally stop eating sugar or snacks, or maybe lose some weight. You have to let go of yourself. Can you see? What am I talking about? All the ideas, all the identification, all the coping mechanisms you've invested in, maybe, being overweight or overworking, and you decide one day, I have to let go of this habit. It's not just, you just stop working so hard. Someone might say, just let go of it. Yeah. And generally it is simple, but it is not easy, because you have become that person who is in that situation that you're meant to let go of. This is the ugliness that you have to contend with when letting go of things. So in other words, you're not only burying, in very dramatic language, that situation in the past, but you are also burying yourself, parts of you, big parts of you, into the ground to no longer revisit, because that's basically the intention. So is this kind of like phoenix from ashes situation where you're supposed to reinvent yourself and create all new ways of being. So in my situation, I had to let go of myself being identified in this relationship, having a lot of unhealthy behaviors, a lot of identification, coping mechanisms, where I would escape to, rather than being who I was supposed to be outside in the next stage. I had to deal with all these changes. And then I was healing for many months to come. So then I had to let go of that traumatized self that was suffering from so many losses. You see? So it's like this constant wheel of we having to let go of ourselves from the past so that we can step into the new stage of being. And if you listened to my channel for long enough, I'm the person who really practices and what I preach in terms of emotional alchemy. I use emotions, the power of emotions and the changes, the cycles of changes, the energy of changes to get on a current of a change. So I might have used anger to move me to another stage. And I did that very intentionally, where I was taking opportunities that would present in my life to lift myself in consciousness, to move to the next stage of being, to let go of the lower self. And really letting go is kind of like a Big Bang scenario. It's destruction and creation in one moment. So it's like in one big sweep, you are supposed to tear things down, all the things that you were attached to, as in people or objects or situations, but also sweep the yourself that was living in that reality. So this is what I call a big bang, because you then have to reinvent what's new. Who am I becoming if I'm not that? If I'm not in that relationship? If I'm not identifying with myself as this kind of needy, maybe daughter of parents who is always looking for approval and is doing all these things to get some sort of, I don't know, approval, or maybe have a parent be proud of her, and always kind of having the parent in the back of her mind, even though she's 50 years old, okay? She has to let go of that idea that she is entangled in that role still, coming from childhood all the way until she's 50 years old, and she's still trapped in that dynamic, and she's still acting and reacting in her adult life that is passing, in creating things, in deciding, in making choices through the prism of being a daughter of a parent that doesn't praise her enough. Okay, you see how so much waste is happening in so many people's lives when they don't dare to let go of themselves in that respect. Because letting go of people outside of us, letting go of situations, letting go of that job that you hate, letting go of a habit that is detrimental to you, is only an opportunity for you letting go of yourself. This is what I really call a big bang. You are creating a whole new world, a whole new reality when you let go. So you might want to ask yourself, what am I resisting to let go of? What part of me am I still holding on to and wasting my energy because I'm so afraid of reinventing myself, stepping into who I'm meant to be? So maybe journal about this after this video, because I really promise you might discover something that you've been in denial about. Maybe you know, kind of deep inside of you, that there is something waiting for you to let go of. And by knowing what comes in the letting go, you can also inspect what parts of you you would have to let go of and reinvent. That might actually bring a little bit more peace and intentionality to the process of letting go. Might actually help you with all the process of grieving and the losses, because by knowing this, it's really easier to acclimate to be in that new stage, because you know what's involved. You're not just grasping, you're not just over flooded with that pain, because you know what's happening. Okay? And just to get real, there is that pain of loss. There is time you might have to grieve and heal. The bigger the challenge, the bigger the attachment, the bigger the investment. Of course, there might be more of time, of healing that you have to invest in. The amount of pain that you suffer after making that decision doesn't make the decision wrong. That can be the mistake of so many people that are faced with the pain and they're like, I must have done it wrong because it shouldn't hurt so much. Letting go should feel better. No, it shouldn't. It can, but it doesn't have to. There is no rule about how letting go would feel. But as you witness yourself in this new stage, whether you have let go of something or someone or not, I actually encourage you to go back in a latest situation you have let go of something. The thing is, you might be afraid that you lose parts of yourself, that you just chip off something and you like grow smaller. But the paradox is that you somehow become bigger when you let go of something, because you become that person, you become that witness who have made that choice. You are becoming a sort of more mature version of yourself that didn't lose that part of yourself, really. It might just seem like you did. But what happened when you've gone through that healing and grieving, you start seeing that what you did, if you do it intentionally and consciously, you actually contain and integrate that past self into you. So you have become bigger, you have reparented yourself, so to speak. You have aligned more with your higher self by doing that. And it almost makes you feel physically bigger. And I speak about this in one of my videos, I don't remember which one, that when you grow consciousness, which is what you're doing when you let go, and you readjust, reinvent, and land on a higher plane, you are raising your consciousness. And when you have done that over time, it feels like physically you have grown. I had this real weird experience about last year, and it still lasts at times. I still feel it at times, that I feel like I have grown in size. And there is energetics behind this. There are some consciousness things about this, because the thing is, we are creating the reality, the physical reality, based on what we believe about ourselves and about the world. So once you invest in growing, in becoming bigger through the process of letting go and big life changes, you are then feeling physically bigger. And your world starts changing as well to match your new inner reality. And this is the beauty of letting go. So if you need any help with making intentional choices based on your higher self perspective, based on trust, what's aligned with you, I recommend that you download my free guide that explains the process of steady, small changes that lead to not having so much stagnation to appear in your life, so that the pain of letting go will become huge. Okay, so go and download this free guide from the link in the description of this video. And if you're serious about your own growth, about your own development, and you are facing some changes in your life that you either expecting, need to take, or are healing from, don't hesitate to reach out to me for one-on-one coaching. There's contact details in the description of this video. So don't hesitate. We can go much deeper into your own particular situation. And if you want to learn more about how to grow your own consciousness, how to grow your power based on self-loving choices, I recommend you will watch a video after this one that speaks about inner power. For now, thank you for listening today, and I will see you in the next video.